Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's December 21st, 2021. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined as always by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we try really, really hard to stick to the news of the day. And
Wow,
Matt, I'm trying to get you focused today. Okay, we're gonna try real hard to stick to the news of the day.
We're not talking about dessert. We're not going to be talking about my family. We're just talking about the news of the day. Who wants to talk about the news of the day when you can talk about my family?
We're not talking about your alligator shirts. We're not talking about wiping your butt, your tennis.
No alligator shirt.
You pretending to be a French Open fan. None of those things. Today we're sticking right to the point because like some of these folks on YouTube are a little ornery, man. It's like these shows are free. They're on YouTube. And we're getting these comments telling us to shut the hell up and stick to the point. And
that's why I don't read the comments. I don't know why you're reading the comments.
I'm sensitive. I admit it. I'm a little sensitive sometimes. And, I like to see what people are thinking and saying. If there's something we can do to make it better, we always will. So today we're going to try something new. We are sticking right to the point.
Wow.
So let's get to it. Let's go. All right. Everybody wants to know about the coordinators. Okay, I get it. The staff, the coordinators. Obviously, that's the topic of the hour right now. The thing about that is there are a million interviews going on. You got to understand how Mario Cristobal hires coaches. Okay, he will interview 4, 5, 6 people for every position, and it's not like there's a press release. Now, we have an idea, obviously, on some of the position coaches, and we've reported that. Obviously Miraball's in the house at O-line. Coach McClendon from Oregon's coming to coach the receivers. Coach Feld is going to be the strength coach. He's coming from Oregon. The defensive side of the ball, I believe T-Rob is sticking on the staff. The rest of the staff is pretty much
Coach Field, the tight end is there.
And Coach Field, the tight ends coach. Okay, correct. So that's 5 out of the 10 slots. So those are pretty much set. I think 5 of the 10. The other ones are very fluid right now, and a lot of interviews taking place. We've reported a little bit on the offensive coordinator situation. Some of the names that are being thrown around: Kendall Briles, Ken Dorsey, Rob Chudzinski. Those are 3 for sure candidates. And there's going to be a couple more. There's no doubt about it, because none of those are guaranteed to get the job. So OC is in flux. Now, something to watch out for. I think just knowing the track record of these two working together, that Mario Cristobal would love to have James Coley on the staff. I'm not expecting James Coley to be the offensive coordinator. So the question becomes, how does he fit? Does he fit as a quarterback's coach? I would say tight ends coach, but if Steve Field's going to be on the staff, he's going to be the tight ends coach. So there's some juggling that's going to take place here. And you might see the whole staff, for example, take special teams so that Mario can fit an extra recruiter per se and position coach like James Coley into the staff to come join the team. So it really is fluid because we're just assuming that everybody's sitting there and wants to come to Miami. But they're getting other offers from other schools as well. So we got to respect that, and we got to know that it's not going to be perfect predicting how this will come together. So we're just kind of giving you an idea based on what we know. The running backs coach, I believe, is coming from Oregon, but I don't think that is an absolute definite right now. So I would stay open-minded on that spot. Now, on defense, I think there's a lot of guys out there that Mario's going to be talking to for the defensive coordinator spot. One of them, without question, is already known. That's Clint Hurt, the assistant head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. But I think the search will go far beyond Clint Hurt. And I think there'll be some hidden names in there that haven't become public yet. And, as the time arises, if they're serious, we hope to report on them to you. But, right now, the important thing and the best thing really is to let Mario Cristobal do his thing, let him do his interviews. We don't need to be, totally polluting the process every single day with, rumors and different things. He's doing a lot of interviews. That I know. We're trying to give him the space to do his thing. We will try to report on it as soon as there's something substantive to tell you guys about. But you do know half the staff right now, so that's a pretty good head start. All right, Matt. So now let's jump into our stories of the day. I want to talk a little bit about Ahmad Moten, and he's a defensive tackle that his profile seems to be growing. And I thought Mario was very smart in that he started recruiting this kid when he was at Oregon. And I don't think he harbored any illusions that he would be coming out to Oregon to go to school. But I think he understood that there was a chance that he could end up at Miami this year. And he started building the relationship there. And so it exists now. And I think you would agree that Miami's in a pretty decent place with Ahmad Moten, even though there's visits coming up to Tennessee, to Oklahoma. He's already been to Iowa State. You've spoken to him recently. Your feeling on where things stand with Ahmad.
All right, well, first let's talk about time of possession. You've had the ball for 6 minutes and 24 seconds.
No, because you spoke early, and I
said we can't talk about Candy. That takes 2 seconds.
Listen, I had to give the update on the coaching situation. I'm
sorry.
I would
have liked to weigh in on that. I don't know what you get.
All right. Well, let's hit the rewind button. Rewind. All right, Matt. Before we talk about Ahmad Moten, your thoughts on the coaching search?
I have nothing to add. No, I'm just kidding. So so first of all, you mentioned I don't want people to be confused. When you said they could hire an additional coach like James Coley and everyone chips in on special teams, I don't want people thinking, there was a special teams coach, because it really wasn't. Jonathan Packey had the title of special teams coordinator, but he was really the linebackers coach with Coach Ish under him. Basically, what they could do was just have one linebackers coach, and then you have that extra spot, and everyone could help and not have a special teams coordinator, is what Gary was saying on that. So I want to clarify that.
That is exactly what I meant. Thank you.
And then the other thing that I wanted to let people know, which you didn't really touch on, is with Mario Cristobal, we both know Mario well from following his career at FIU and at Oregon, and just from knowing him from when he was at Miami for so many years. So of course you follow a guy like that. And what I think fans are going to see at the end of the day with all of his hires is he's not looking for just an X's and O's guys. I think his priority, and he's shown it at every place he's been, is to find recruiters. And not just recruiters, but in particular guys who know the South Florida community, or guys who have enough clout with certain areas that he wants to target, that person will help him bring in the talent to South Florida. And I guarantee you, if you play this back after he announces all of his hirings, and maybe he'll do all the announcements at once, since he certainly could have announced some of them already if he wanted to. Maybe, I remember when Manny came in, they wanted to save them all for one day, so whatever. But however they announce it, come back to this episode and watch it, because I'm telling you right now, you're going to say, wow, these guys have a reputation, almost all of them, as amazing recruiters. And there's, that's the bottom line. And I've always said on this show, by the way, I'd rather have the best players and not the best X and O coaches, or the best knowledgeable coaches. If you don't have the players, I don't care how good a coach you are. And Mario takes that to an extreme. He'll take a guy who's just kills it on the recruiting trail, but maybe, isn't, look, from the outside, you don't know who's a great coach necessarily on the practice field, because we don't see all the practices. But in coaching circles, you have an idea, okay, this guy's an amazing, technician as a coach. People have reputations like that. And people have reputations as great recruiters. He's going to take the great recruiter over the great technician 110% of the time. So when he announces these hires, do not be surprised if you're like, wow, this guy was the recruiting, guru of the year, the Rivals recruiting guy of the year in 2018 or whatever, these are the kinds of guys he wants. And if he puts enough of those guys together, they're going to lock down South Florida. And then it doesn't matter. You could have me and Gary and myself could be coaching this team. Like I said it before, that 2001 Hurricanes team, Larry Coker didn't coach that team. Those players coached that team, and those players won a national championship undefeated because they were so damn good. And in today's college football game, you can't just be the same as everyone else because you're going to lose a game or two that way. Like you have to be that much better. Like I took statistics, I'll admit it, in college. It didn't take for me. I thought maybe I'd be an accountant or something like that. That didn't work out well. So I took statistics as a freshman, and there's standard deviation of the mean. And right now, Miami is within one standard deviation of the mean of every single ACC Coastal team except Duke. And with these recruiters that he'll bring on the staff, I think, there'll be 2 standard deviations above everybody else. And when you get to that level, it's called statistical, what's it called? Now I can't remember anymore. Basically, I'll just call it statistical relevance. I'm just making that up. I can't remember what it's called. But basically, it means that the probability of you being, basically winning above the average gets to 90%, 95%, instead of just 50, 55%, 60% better, chance. So with those players, you're going to be in that second deviation from the mean. You're going to be better than everyone else. And even on your worst day, you should still win, which Miami has not been able to do. So I don't know.
They haven't had enough elite players.
Nobody's watching as a math major because, this is from how many years ago was I in college? Like, I don't know, 100 years ago. But yeah, so anyway, so enough about that. So you asked me about Ahmad Moten.
No, don't go to Ahmad Moten because I got something else I want to add to this.
I'm still trying to even out you. Hey, you still got an extra minute.
No, give me a minute. It's all right. I'll let you catch up on Ahmad Moten, but I want to add something to what you just said. All right, a couple things. People that have been on our website know for years I've been saying that Miami doesn't have enough elite players on the roster, that this is what the Mario Cristobal hire is all about, getting more elite players on the roster to allow you to separate from the pack in the ACC. So I was texting earlier today with a Power 5 coach who's an offensive coordinator. He's got offensive coordinator experience. This is what he says to me. Look at the coordinators who have won the last 5 national titles. Steve Sarkisian, Steve Eminger, Tony Elliott, Brian Dable, and Tony Elliott. Okay? Every single one of them work in a system that is built on recruiting the best players and putting them in a position to touch the ball. That's the bottom line, period. Okay? There's no Mike Leach. There's no Lincoln Riley. There's no Kendall Briles, who is by the way, on Mario's coordinator list potentially. There's no Jeff Lebby. There's no Josh Heupel. None of those guys that are the so-called offensive geniuses of college football are winning the national titles. The guys that are winning the national titles are the guys that are at the recruiting machines where they're rolling out elite football players and just working in a system and getting them the football. I thought it was a great point. And I think that Matt, you're hitting on something with Mario because he understands that. Okay.
Hey, listen, I was talking to my wife, and she said the exact same thing as the Power 5 coach. So I don't know who's smarter, the Power 5 coach or my wife, but okay.
Well, it's a good point because everybody wants the offensive genius that's going to put up 70 points against Duke. Oh, geez, he put up 70 points on Duke. He's the greatest offensive coach. Oh, he can really dial it up. That's a bunch of bull crap, because putting 70 points.
Oh my God! Did you say bull crap? This is a children's show. For God's sake.
Bull crap's okay. I think. I don't think I'm going to get flagged by YouTube on that. But listen, it's true. I mean, it's like, yeah, some of these guys they can put up 70 points on Duke, but it doesn't matter. What matters is recruiting elite players that get you out of these tight games with victories. Period. And I think Mario understands that because of his history and where he's been. And you're going to see him build his team at Miami along those lines with recruiters that can go out and win on the trail. And that brings us back to Ahmad Moten, Matt. And which was back to my original question is your feel on where Miami stands with Ahmad at this point in time.
It's funny. I remember some strange stories about Randy Shannon. I don't remember all of them, but I do remember him saying this once to me because I wasn't that far along in my reporting career, but I was far enough along. But he did say, not just to me, but to a bunch of reporters, and I don't remember exactly where we were when he said it, but he said his belief, and he's a great recruiter, Randy Shannon. I mean, he is. Maybe he hasn't had the greatest results, but he's known as a very good recruiter. He said that he truly believes that very, very early on in the process, kids know where they want to go to college. And basically that school has to lose them for them not to go there. And Ahmad Moten has always wanted to be a Miami Hurricane. He's wanted to be a Miami Hurricane since his older brother, Anthony, played for Miami. And I don't see Mario losing him. They would have to screw this up somehow. He's going to go on campus. He's already been to Iowa State. This kid's not going to Iowa State, okay? This kid had no offers a year ago. 0 offers. He's blowing up. He's going to visit Tennessee. I think Oklahoma is in the mix now. He said he's going to definitely take an official visit to Oklahoma. So that's obviously a school you got to look out for. And he's going to visit Miami. He wouldn't guarantee to me that he's going to visit Miami officially or unofficially. But I have to think Miami's going to get him on campus officially. And my guess is, if Mario is worth his weight in gold, which I think he is, that Ahmad Moten will be at Miami the weekend before signing day. That's my guess. And my guess is, if Ahmad Moten doesn't silently commit, he's announcing on signing day. If Ahmad Moten does not silently commit to Mario Cristobal on that Sunday before that dead period hits at midnight, that nobody will be able to find Ahmad Moten for the next 3 days, because Mario will put him in a dungeon and force feed him and do that brain stuff, get a bunch of therapists in there and brainwash him until he, signs with Miami on Wednesday. Like, it's not going to come to that. But this kid's going to be a Hurricane. I honestly believe that. The kid hasn't told me that. If he, the problem is, if the kid had told me that, you guys know I couldn't tell you that. Because if a kid tells me in confidence, hey, I'm going to be a Hurricane, just don't tell anybody, I couldn't say that. So he hasn't told me that when I say I think he's going to be a Hurricane. But I do. And he did tell me in my very first interview a long time ago that he was, that Miami was leading. But at that point, he was actually waiting on a Miami offer from Manny Diaz, believe it or not. And he was waiting and waiting, and Oregon offered. And Mario is coming on hard, and he's still telling me, I'm still waiting on a Miami offer. I went to the Miami game. They still didn't offer me. Like, what was Manny Diaz thinking? Like, I don't even want to get back into I don't even want to say the words Manny Diaz anymore. Like, I'm over it. But, like, Mario's going to get this kid. I have no doubt about it.
All right, a couple other recruiting stories today. We take a look at a cornerback out of Ocala Forest by the name of Jamarian Burt. Pretty wide open in his recruitment. Miami's in there. We don't really have a feel right now for how badly they want him or don't want him, but they are in the mix with a lot of teams, and that'll kind of work itself out in the month of January. We also have a story on a 2023 defensive end by the name of Hunter Osborne. And the thing that I found interesting about that story, Matt, is where he is from. Hunter Osborne is from the heart of Alabama. And there is no question, okay, that Mario Cristobal is laying the gauntlet down, okay? Alabama, you've been coming to South Florida and you've been taking the kids. I helped you do it, quite frankly, he did. We're going to turn the tables now, and we're coming into the heart of Alabama, and we're going to recruit Alabama. It's going to be interesting to see where this thing goes. It's pretty hard to get kids out of Alabama, Matt, that Alabama really wants. Let's be honest.
I mean, look, let's not get too crazy, okay?
Hey,
I will tell you,
they got Jaleel.
This is what I know, and you guys who watch this regularly, yeah, I understand. They got Jaleel Skinner, I understand. Yeah. But you guys who watch this regularly, I just share like how I see things and how I view things, and I call myself a truth teller, even though my truths sometimes are falsehoods in the end. Not often, but sometimes. And the way I see things right now, it's super interesting to me because from what I'm seeing, and listen, my wife has COVID. Okay, she's been in her bedroom. I've been stuck in this office for the last 6 days, so I've been calling a lot of 2023 kids and just sort of seeing where their heads are at and texting with a lot of kids and monitoring, social media.
That's
and all this other stuff. I've had nothing else to do for
actually work
24 hours a day. This is how you get me to work. If you get me around people with COVID, I'll work 24/7, just like Mario Cristobal does.
24 years to figure out the formula to get Matt to work. Wife must have COVID.
Just get my wife to have COVID, and she's fine, by the way. No symptoms, like literally no symptoms. It's super weird, but we both have to quarantine. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So this is what I found in my 24/7, 5 days of quarantine. And it's super interesting to me. And I don't know, I'm sure fans have noticed it too if they've been in quarantine as well. But like the offers that are going out right now are from Mario and Alex Mirabal, and that's it. Like, I haven't heard a kid mention any other coach right now, okay? And Alex Mirabal's literally in Oregon, helping them prepare for the bowl game. And what's really interesting to me is every single kid, and I'm talking about 2023 kids now.
Are you sure that Alex Mirabal went back? Did he go back?
I talked to a kid today who said that he talked to Alex in Oregon. So
okay, maybe
I don't
maybe
know if
he
that
did
was
go
today
back
or yesterday or whatever. But
yeah, maybe he did.
But anyway, notwithstanding, his plane flight, every offer that's gone out from Mario and Alex, obviously for offensive linemen, has been to 4- and 5-star kids that are from out of town, like not South Florida kids. And I think it has to be by design. Mario does nothing by accident. It's not just a fluke, okay? So, Mario knows a lot of these kids, obviously from being in Oregon. And maybe at Oregon, he wasn't targeting a lot of South Florida kids. But more likely to me is Mario doesn't want to start hitting the South Florida kids hard until he's got this recruiting guru staff in place. And he could say, we need you, and whatever they come up with as their plan as a staff. You don't want to half-ass it from the beginning. You want it to be right on the head from the very first time you reach out to this kid, like Mario, that first day with the whole staff, like Zoom call with all the new coaches and this kid from South Miami. Zoom call with all the new Miami coaches and this kid from Fort Lauderdale. Like, that's day one when he hires his whole staff. And that's what I think he's waiting to do. I don't think he wants to offer South Florida kids right now by himself. He wants them to feel special. Like, I just hired my whole staff. We're closing out South Florida. We just took the job, all of us today, and you're our first day call, and we need you to stay home. That's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise, why would he be offering all these out-of-state kids right now? And none of the South Florida kids that I've seen on social media in my lovely quarantine have been tweeting anything out. And the truth is, I've been so busy reaching out to all the new offers, I think it's been like 20 of them, that I haven't even had time to call the, Fletchers and the Innises and the whoever else is, But I think that's the plan. And if it is the plan, Mario Cristobal's a freaking genius. He's almost as smart as me if he does that, because that's exactly what I would do. He's smarter than me, okay, let's face it. But it was a joke. So don't get upset, Mario. You're smarter than me. It's not even close. It was a joke. I don't need you screaming at me like the last time I screwed something up on the Green Tree practice field, okay, Mario? But that's my thoughts. I don't know if I've gone like loopy, just sitting in my office 24/7 for the last 5 days. But that's like,
you definitely sound a little loopy, but I'm kind of enjoying it.
Like what,
I'm not interrupting you. I'm just sitting here listening.
If that is the plan, how great a plan is that? Like, it's like evil genius. It's genius.
Yeah. All right. So we've got those stories on the site today. We've also got You Bet CaneSport with Lee Sterling, the bowl edition, and Lee breaks down the Miami-Washington State Sun Bowl game and a couple other bowl games for you guys who like to place a wager every now and then on your games, and encourage you to, keep up with Lee the whole off season. They do everything, basketball, baseball, hockey, MMA, whatever you want to bet on. They can help you figure out which way to go. So that's going to do it for today for Good Morning CaneSport. Yes. What are you drinking there, Matt? What is
I thought we're not allowed to talk about this. I have a new business partner. Drink LaCroix. Huh? It's delicious.
Craft berry. Okay, cool. All right, so for Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. Thank you for joining us on Good Morning CaneSport today.
It pairs well with Entenmann's cookies, by the way, in case you're wondering.
That have been microwaved.
Or Frosted Flakes.
Huh?
Or Frosted Flakes in your case.
Or Frosted Flakes. Tony the Tiger, Sun Bowl.
I know how much you like Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. That'll be the breakfast.
I thought it was only football. We're not allowed to talk about it. You're going to have to edit the whole thing now.
Everybody should eat Frosted Flakes next week in honor of Miami's bid to the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. How about that? Frosted Flakes for breakfast. Matt'll even buy.
The best bowl game was the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl when they gave us as many Chick-fil-A sandwiches as we wanted. It was like a giant garbage bin full of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And you're going to, at this bowl game, like, who wants some Frosted Flakes? Like, I'm going to skip that. Although it is morning over there for the game, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's, I guess, an 11 o'clock kickoff El Paso time.
Yeah.
All right. So for Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. That'll do it for today for Good Morning CaneSport. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great day.